In today's video, I'm showcasing 4 different crafts and DIYs that I have done in which I have used Plaid Crafts products. Some of these products include Waverly Chalk Paint, Mod Podge, and folk art paints. This video is part of the Plaid Collab, in which all of the people participating are Plaid ambassadors. Stay tuned and I will give you all the details about the challenge and information about a huge giveaway. DIY number 1. For this project, I took some cardboard that I had around and cut it down to wood plank size, and I'm going to use them to create a noodle board for my stove. To make it a little more sturdy, I am doubling up the pieces of cardboard. It's not going to be super thick because it is cardboard, so obviously I won't be able to put a lot of heavy objects or whatever on it, but lightweight things, it should be fine. So taking these pieces and doubling them up, I'm using a combination of wood glue and hot glue to adhere them together, and then I'm going to go ahead and cover each plank with some old wood-like contact paper. I don't really like it, so I just want to use it up. But I wanted to use the contact paper to give it a, give it a little more durability and a little bit of, I guess, water protection or moisture protection. And once I'm done with that, I will go ahead and assemble my pieces together, putting the thicker fat ones underneath to help hold all of the long boards together, and then on the top using the long skinny ones as the edge, and that's also where I'm going to put my handles. So I've spray painted it white, and I'm no good at this, but it's fine, it's fine. So I'm going to go ahead and install my my handles, which are actually drawer pulls that I have, and I'm going to go ahead and put those in. I just poke a hole through. I don't know if they're even, but they're close enough. So I'm going to go ahead and put those in, and then I'll be using my Cricut and making a monogram vinyl to put on. This was a difficult task, but I made it work. And yeah, so the part of this where the Plaid product is the Dishwasher Safe Mod Podge, and my idea was that I'm gonna have this sitting out, I'll put stuff on it, and I don't want it to get gross. I don't want it to get all nasty or whatever. So, and I want to be able to wipe it down without damaging anything. It is a permanent vinyl, so that's probably okay, but better to be safe than sorry. So I go ahead and I coat the whole thing, well, the whole top anyway, with the Dishwasher Safe Mod Podge. And this is how that turned out, and I love it. And I saved a ton of money by making it myself. So yeah, definitely an easy thing, a cheap thing, and totally customizable. DIY number 2. For this craft, I use this USA tag sign from Family Dollar, and I use my Cricut scraper tool to remove the paper USA from the front, which was super easy to do. And to cover that up, I'm using some cardstock cut down to size, some Elmer's spray adhesive to get it applied, and then Mod Podge gloss finish to seal that up. On the other side, I'm using Waverly Chalk Paint in plaster, which is also a Plaid product, to paint what was the back of it. So after giving it a sanding and cutting out the word family on my Cricut with some StarCraft HD vinyl and this clear transfer tape that I got from Amazon, I'm just going to go ahead and apply the word family to the bottom of my tag and it worked out really well. Then I'm going to create a tassel and a little bead garland and add some flowers to it to give it a patriotic feel. For the beads, I'm just going to use some three large ones, and I think it's 6 or 9, I can't remember how many different beads and I'm painting with apple barrel red, apple barrel white, and a different brand of acrylic, the blue, because I wanted the color to be closer to what I already had, and I just didn't have an apple barrel that was the right color. So I just painted all of my beads, stringing them through on some jute twine, just to add just a little bead garland to the end of this tag, not a huge one. Putting them in a bit of an order there, and using some macrame string to create the tassel at the end. And then getting that all put together, wrapping that twine around nice and thick, hot gluing everything together to make sure that it stays intact. Cutting all the excess string, and then I'm going to cut and fray the end of the tassel. I'm just taking some little sprigs of flowers that I picked up from Family Dollar, and I'm just going to slide them under the burlap or the jute twine. I didn't want to glue it in case I want to change the flowers out. And I did also coat the other side with Mod Podge as well, just to seal everything in and give it a nice finish. This is the Plaid collab. All of the ladies that you see here are Plaid ambassadors, which means that we have partnered with Plaid Crafts to showcase the products that they have. And I will make sure to leave the link to Plaid Crafts online where you can check out their products, as well as our host, Indiana Jones, who put this awesome collaboration together. And as you can see, there are 16 of us in this playlist, so make sure you go check out everybody's videos. We are also doing a giveaway. The prize that we're giving away is $100 in Plaid Craft products. There are so many awesome products from Plaid. The Mod Podge, I mean, come on, that's been around since the late 60s, so you know it's good. Apple barrel paint, folk art paint. I mean, the possibilities are just astounding. In order to enter and be qualified to win, you need to watch and like each video in the playlist and listen carefully. Each one of us is going to use a Plaid product, or could be a color name or something like that. But they're all Plaid related, Plaid craft related. Make sure you listen carefully and then comment below the video which product or product name or whatever that the creator mentions in their video. And lastly, just be in the continental US. So good luck to everybody. Make sure you're paying attention. It could be sneaky. And I will put mine in just a little bit. DIY number 3. For this craft, I took a couple of glass wine bottles, and I'm going to go ahead and spray paint these white. Then, using some drywall mud, I'm layering that on top of the glass bottles to give it a clay-like texture. I was emulating some anthropology vases that I had seen, and once I give it the enough layers, I'm going through and smoothing it out and giving it the desired shape. Now, once I have them all dried, I sealed them with some clear lacquer, and I'm going to go ahead and give each one a different color. So I'm getting ready to paint. The first one, I'm using Delta Ceramcoat Blue Heaven, Blue Heaven, Waverly Chalk Paint and Plaster. I'm going to mix those two together, and I'm going to use a little dab of Delta Ceramcoat Black so I can give it like a gray tint. Do I actually add the Waverly? I don't know that I do. Maybe I just use these colors. Yeah, I guess I do just use those colors. So the Blue Heaven and a little dab of black to give it a grayish blue tint. And for the large one, I mixed a little dab of this generic brown with the Waverly Chalk Paint and Plaster to give it a light tan finish. Then once I was done, I used this Mod Podge, I think it's satin finish, to seal in the entire bottle. And this is how those came out. I like that I was able to blend those other paints together to get those colors. Almost all of it was Plaid products with the exception of that brown paint and the drywall mud. Sealed in nicely with the Mod Podge. They look pretty good. DIY number 4. So here I've got Painter's Palette in white. That's a Plaid Crafts product as well, available at Family Dollar. And I mixed it with some baking powder, and I realized after this that you should never ever mix it together in an airtight jar by shaking it, because you will get Mount Vesuvius afterwards. Yeah, it was a lot foamy and it exploded everywhere, and yeah, it was a mess. So this is what it looks like all painted. Oh, it's great coverage, but it's foam. It's painter's foam. Yeah, I won't make that mistake again, but hey, it was an experiment and it turned out to work okay. So what I'm going to do here is I give it a sanding a little bit, and I paint both sides, and I'm putting my handles on, drill the holes, and then I'm going to paint on a couple of gray stripes using Delta Ceramcoat Black and Apple Barrel White, mixing the colors together to make different tones of gray, and just getting that painted in there. And honestly, I didn't have any actual just gray shades, so I might as well just mix my own. And once I get those down, here's painting the second one. I just added more black to the gray that I had made just to get a different shade of gray, a darker shade. So once I get that painted and it's dry, then I remove the tape, and then I'll be going in with Mod Podge to coat the whole thing. This is going to be, a serving tray. So I wanted to make sure that I seal it in good with the Mod Podge in the Dishwasher Safe formula. In case anything spills, I don't want to mess up the paint. So I'm going to coat the whole thing with the Dishwasher Safe Mod Podge. And then I'll install the drawer pulls that I have. I really like them a lot. I've used them before, and yeah, I'll just seal this in nice, and then you'll see how it looks at the end. Don't forget that all you have to do to be entered to win the Plaid Crafts giveaway of $100 worth of Plaid Craft products is to leave everybody's secret word in their comments. For example, the secret word for my video is Blue Heaven, and you'll want to make sure that you use that in a comment below my video, and go to the other 15 videos in the playlist and listen for their secret words as well. If you haven't already, could you consider subscribing? Also leave likes, comments, and spread the YouTube goodness to all of the others in the playlist. And there's the finished result. I like it so much better than it was in the beginning, and I think I'll get more use out of it now that I really like the way it looks. Thank you guys so much for watching. Take care. Bye.